just to really push on that urgency of why we need to care about the climate crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I will say is that I think for Gen Z in particular, being a very aware and connected generation, we don't see the issues in silos or in isolation. I think we're the generation that recognizes that the fight for gender equity is the same as the fight for racial justice, which is the same as fighting for prison reform and education for girls, and all of these things relate to the climate and ecological crisis, right? It's not something separate. It relates to the choices that we make every single day, and again, it relates to these kind of power structures that we've inherited. And on the one hand, that can be incredibly overwhelming, right? And when you're on social media, you're learning about all of these really big, complex problems, and it's so easy to want to kind of shut down in the face of that. But the flip side is there are so many kind of touchstones and so many touch points that no matter what you're interested in, whether it is food or fashion, as we've heard about today, there is a space for us to show up in. And I think, my realization is that we're not going to solve this crisis with the same people, the same thinking, the same stories that have created it. And so we really need to be seeking out the voices and the people on the front lines of this crisis who've been living through it, but who have also been developing solutions in response to a crisis that perhaps we in the global north are talking about now, but they've been talking about for many, many decades. And so we need to ask consistently who is not in the room. And for those of us who do have privilege and influence and power, how do we make sure that those voices are there? Because what we're currently doing is not working. So we need new ideas, we need new creativity. Young people are such an incredible conduit for that, but also so are those who have been systematically excluded from the very decisions that are governing our future. So that would be my invitation.